Hello and welcome to some year-ending True Audiophiles videos. Well, this is probably the second to the last. I haven't decided yet. I'm doing two videos in one day to kind of go over the best ofs 2023. And, this year was a decent year. There were some great stuff. There was a lot of not so great stuff and some, so-so stuff. But anyway, I'm going to go over right now, I'm going to go over my best of the reissues. And I'll start off with saying that, again, there were a lot of great reissues. And I want to start by talking about kind of some reissue campaigns as a whole. The ones that always stand out for me are obviously the Blue Note Classic Vinyl series reissues and the Tone Poets. There was also the OJC, the original Jazz Classic series. They've kind of rebooted that with Kevin Gray doing the mastering or cutting of the vinyl. There was also the Rhino High Fidelity series, so there's like stuff by the Cars and John Coltrane and several others that were really, really good. And, there are some other ones that, or other series, the Atlantic 75th Anniversary series has been very good so far. I've only gotten a couple of those, but the ones that I've got have been very good. I didn't want to put them quite in my top 10 just because I think they didn't necessarily get to that level, but as a whole, I thought that they were all of those series were unbelievable and made it very difficult throughout the year to decide on what to spend my money on for vinyl. So, but what we're going to do now is go over my favorite reissues from last year. They're not in any particular order, just for several reasons, not the least of which is it's too hard to kind of decide what ones are my absolute favorites. But also just it made it easier for me to compile them, and so I can easily pick them up and show you the ones I have. So, again, not in any particular order. First one up that I have here is Bruce Springsteen, Greetings from Asbury Park, New Jersey, One Step. Thought it sounded great. Definitely sounded the best of the versions I have, and I thought that they did a spectacular job on that one. This one was kind of an interesting one. I don't know if it flew under the radar for some, but I thought it was a really cool reissue, and that is Alice Cooper's School's Out. And it was basically, it's a 3-record set, I believe. Yeah, 3-record set. It had basically a set, the reissue on the first album, a live album, kind of 3 sides of live album, and then there was a side of kind of not outtakes, but extras like single versions of the songs and things on that nature. And I thought they did a pretty good job. They did a decent job trying to recreate the original. I think there were panties included like they were in the original. It would have been cool if they actually completely followed the suit of the original one, but they came pretty close in terms of how it looks. You still have the pop-up desk like the old school desks of old, and and Chris Bellman cut these. So yes, there are the panties, as you can see. But anyways, I think that they did a really nice job on that, and Chris Bellman did a great job cutting that one. So next up for me, one that I think, not this particular one, but I think this series has kind of lost its popularity just because of the bad experiences a lot of people had on the first few. But I still think they're hitting it out of the park, and this one's no exception. And it's Thelonious Monk, Bright Corners. I keep forgetting the last part of it, but Bright Corners. I love the packaging. MoFi's kind of copied their packaging to a certain extent, although I still love this little pull tab that they have to pull the record out. And, they're numbered. This one's number 418. But sounds spectacular. I don't remember. I think Bernie Grumman may have done this one. I can't remember who cut this one, but either way, whoever they do these, they do a spectacular job, and they use super vinyl just like MoFi uses on their One Steps, and they're actually a little tiny bit more than the One Steps, but the MoFi One Steps, but not a lot, and they do a great job. Next one up. And I would say, as a whole, this series was really good from everything I've listened to so far. I haven't been able to get through all of them yet, just because I'm super backed up on my vinyl. But this one in particular, it's Talking Heads, Stop Making Sense, the complete concert. It's been newly remastered. It was cut by Joe. I'm going to probably butcher his name, but he's my favorite cutting engineer right now. Joe Nino Hernandez. I'm probably mispronouncing his name, and Joe, if you happen to watch this, I apologize. I really probably should ask you how to pronounce your name. But anyways, he's my favorite cutting engineer, and he cut this, and it sounds spectacular. And they unfortunately made only a very limited number of these, but they did a great job. So definitely one of my tops. This one was kind of came out of nowhere for me, and I'm really happy that it came out because they again did a great job, and it's on a really great album. It is White Stripes, Elephant, UHQR by Analog Productions. Sounds spectacular. And definitely much better than any of the other vinyl versions, even though I think the other vinyl versions were cut from the analog tapes like this one was, but they just did a much better job. There's not the sibilance on that one that there was on the other variations that Third Man Pressing released. So another one that is pretty recent here and has been getting a lot of praise. Some maybe not as much of a praise, especially some of the viewers of my videos. There's been one or two, or one, I should say, that was not as big of a fan of it as I was, but it is the self-titled Van Halen first album on One Step. I think it's definitely the best version I have and that I've heard, and I actually did just get the Chris Bellman cut that I hope to listen to soon and compare to this one, because I've heard that one does give this one a little bit of a run for its money, but it's still not quite as good by some people's standards. And, you know, opinions on what sounds best are always going to be very subjective and also very dependent on what you've got for a system, too. Maybe your system is going to make it sound a little different. So for me, this one definitely sounded the best of all the ones I have. So, and next one up is another One Step. Another recent one, although another one that has been on the pre-order list forever. Probably the oldest one on the pre-order list that I had. And that is Something Else by Cannonball Adderley with Miles Davis and the rest. And this one just sounded great. I've listened to maybe 4 different other options. 4? At least 3 other options, including the classic vinyl series version of it. And this one definitely was the best of the ones that I've listened to. So, a lot of these, there are videos where I've done comparisons. If you want to go back and watch those, you can by all means do that. But they go into more detail about why I like those ones the best. So, next up, this one was a latecomer. One that I did not see coming. One that some of you have picked up on in the background of one of my most recent videos. One that I just did not expect to have come out. And it's probably, I don't know if it's my favorite album of all times, but it's definitely, I would say it's top 5 probably. But it's Black Crowes, and it is the Southern Harmony and Musical Companion box set. Overpriced, quite frankly, but a lot of box sets are. But basically it is, you know, the first record is the original album remastered. Second record is outtakes and in live in studio. I don't know if it's necessarily rehearsals per se, but whatever they were, but also some side Bs and things like that. And then the last 2 records are a live concert from Houston back in 1992. One that I went to, and actually I have a VHS copy of it that because it was broadcast over the radio, so I made a VHS recording of it, audio recording that I need to digitize. But it this one definitely it's the same concert and brought back a lot of great memories, and it sounds pretty good. They definitely edited out a lot of the talking that Chris Robinson did in that concert, and it was evident, and you could hear it, and you could tell where it's been edited. Well, I can just because I've heard the original, but this is a great box set. Again, I think it's a little overpriced, but they did a pretty good job with it. Next one up is another one that is probably a little bit overpriced, but not as much so as that last one, but did a phenomenal job, and especially great if you don't already have a lot of the other great versions of the records in this box set. and that is the Miles Davis Electric Years box set by Vinyl Me Please. I have number 1193, it looks like, whatever it is. But basically you have In a Silent Way, Bitches Brew, Tribute to Jack Johnson, Live Evil, On the Corner, Big Fun, and Get Up With It on this. And they all sound really good. They definitely give the mobile fidelity ones that are available from these titles a run for their money, although I still prefer the mobile fidelity ones personally, but they did a spectacular job. They're cut from analog copies of the master tapes. And, you know, I believe it was either Ryan K. Smith or Chris Bellman. I can't remember. Let's see. It probably says here. Ryan Smith from Sterling. And he did a great job, and they sound very good. And every one of them that I had the original or an early pressing of, or first pressing of, I thought that these sounded better than it. So, just a great, great box set. And finally, probably won't come to much of a surprise for those of you who know me, is the big behemoth here. And that is the Prince and the New Power Generation Diamonds and Pearls box set. I mean, I think it's 12 records. Yeah, 12 records, I believe it is. Yeah, 12 records and a Blu-ray. And the Blu-ray is spectacular. It's a concert that he did at the club that he owned at the time called Glam Slam. And basically kind of introducing the new Power Generation band. And it's very cool. Actually, I have the Blu-ray. It was right here, actually, of the show. It was really cool. Live at Glam Slam, 1992. There's also some Special Olympics footage that I guess he had done a performance at the Special Olympics around that time frame. There's his rehearsals and then his actual performance there. And then the videos from this era as well. And one other thing that I thought was really cool that I really wish they would have included in the box set itself, and I'm a little bit disappointed that I had to buy it separately, is this is a Blu-ray that has the Dolby Atmos surround sound mix of the album, which is very cool. Actually, they did a really great job with it. And also the high-resolution version of the album, which it's not really all that high-resolution. A little disappointed in that aspect of it, too. But, you know, another great piece to the collection. Wish they, again, had included this in the box set, but I guess they wanted to make that extra money. So, oh, one last thing that I forgot to mention, just because I don't have a physical copy of it because I didn't want to spend the money on it, but they did a great job, is the Who's Next Lifehouse box set. You know, it has the Lifehouse recordings and a remastering of Who's Next, and I think some live stuff on it as well. It's jam-packed with a bunch of stuff. They had a record. I think they had just the standard record reissue. I don't think they had a deluxe version of the record, but let me know in the comments below. They certainly didn't have a collection of all of the stuff on record. The big box set basically was just CDs and Blu-rays, and one of the things that kind of frustrated me about that box set, in a way, it was good because they included the surround sound mix that Steven Wilson did, which I would really like to get a copy of, but I don't want to spend the money on the box set to get it. And it's only available there. Both the stereo mix and surround sound mix that Steven Wilson did are only available that way. And but, you know, all the rest of the stuff is available. I actually bought the high-resolution downloads of the box set. So anyway, that is my favorites from 2023. I know that there are going to be a lot of people out there that will be saying, hey, well, what about this? What about that? This is just the stuff that I have, just the stuff that, in my opinion, were my favorites from this year. It doesn't necessarily mean the other stuff wasn't good. Just wasn't in my favorites. So, would love to hear what your favorites are, though. Put them in the comments section below. So I want to thank you for subscribing if you have. If you haven't, please do so. Hit that like button. Let me know if you liked the video. Make some comments below if you'd like to, and because I'd love to hear those comments. And also hit that alert bell to let you know when my new videos come out. So that is everything I have for right now. Thank you very much. You have yourself a great rest of your day and a great rest of your week. It's also Christmas time, so you know, if you celebrate Christmas, Merry Christmas, and Happy Holidays for all of those who celebrate other holidays. So thanks a lot. You have yourself a great day.